It's not. Good evening. This is welcome to our City Council regular meeting for March 21st, and it's 7:24 p.m. From closed session, direction was given to staff. I'm going to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. If we can all remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders, military members, and for Mr. Mike Torres, who Livingston resident that recently passed away. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Roth.
Present.
Councilmember Mann.
Present.
Councilmember Soto.
Present.
Mayor Moran.
Present.
For the record, Mayor Pro Tem Samra is not in attendance.
Thank you. Council, any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move item
19?
19 until we have all council members in attendance.
So that would be just to table that item for our next meeting?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we will still allow public comment once that item comes up, but we'll make a motion for consideration to move it to our next meeting. Anything else? Okay, so we have a motion to table that item to our next meeting. Is there a second?
I can second that.
All right, so we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Roth.
Yes.
Councilmember Mann.
Yes.
Councilmember Soto.
Yes.
Mayor Moran.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
All right, thank you. At this time, we have citizen comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the City Council on any item not otherwise on the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by a mayor, should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the City Council this evening. For items which are on the agenda this evening, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the City Council as each item is brought up for discussion. Are there any citizen comments on the phone?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello. My name is Tilly Fennessy. I'd like to make a comment about the feral cats that are in Livingston. About 3 years ago, I found a colony of cats in my backyard. And so I reached out to animal control and local rescues for help on how to control the feral cat population. And there were no programs in place. So the Mercedes PCA, they took the time to teach me how to trap the feral cats, take them to a local vet to get fixed at a lower rate, a lower price, and then return the cats to their environment. So for the last 3 years, I've been able to fix over 20 cats, but the population is still growing, and it's still getting out of control. And so somebody recently posted something online that I'd like to read to the council. It says, Merced County residents, for anyone with feral cats on their property, Merced County Shelter will pick them up, fix them, and return them for free. They will only pick up one at a time, and you will have to use your own trap. You set a covered trap out on Sunday night, call the shelter Monday morning, give your address and name. They will pick up the cat Monday, vaccinate, fix, and come release the cat back to the same location. So I called the shelter and I asked them about that, and they said every city in Merced County participates except Livingston. Livingston does not participate, chooses not to participate in this program. And I would like to know why. This is a wonderful program that the residents can take advantage of, and the Merced County Animal Shelter will do all the hard work, and it's for free. Fixing a male cat is over $100. Fixing a female cat is over $150. And those costs add up. So I'd like to know why the council of Livingston chooses not to participate in this program.
Thank you for your message and for your concern. Actually, if you can reach out to either a chief of police at the police department, or you can reach out to me directly. We currently have a program, and we can give you more information in regards to those vouchers. And we're working on to expand that program. So I would really love to sit down and either you can talk to the chief or to myself, and then we can probably work together to help with this concern.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other comments on the phone? Okay, coming back to the chamber, are there any public comments in the chamber? Okay, seeing none, moving forward. Awards and presentations and proclamations. So tonight we have the honor, and it's really great to see this happening in our city. Okay, that's my time's up. Okay, and so tonight we're doing a presentation to recognize the LHS boys soccer team. And so I see a lot of people here, so before we give out the certificates of recognition, maybe we can have maybe one of the coaches, I see the principal, I see the school board member, anybody is more than welcome to come up and say a few words on all of the hard work that this group of students have been able to do in the last few months, and not only do, but work hard and accomplish. Anyone? Thank you.
I'll start with, on behalf of Merced Union High School District Board, we want to congratulate the Livingston High School boys varsity soccer team for their accomplishments this year. You guys did a great job. I was able to make it to a few games, and they were pretty nice here in Livingston. So congratulations to you guys.
So Chaz Jolly, Principal, Livingston High School, just very proud of you guys, all of the work you've done. It's a huge accomplishment and something that makes us proud to work at Livingston, be a part of Livingston, and that you guys represent our community and our schools so well. It's also a huge thank to the coaches and parents for supporting students in all of the time that you guys spent to be here. So congratulations, you are awesome, thank you.
Good evening, Council. Rodrigo Espinosa, Merced County Supervisor, District 1. I just also want to congratulate the team. I wasn't able to attend all the games except the last one. Hopefully I didn't jinx, But I know we were winning at the beginning of the ¿cómo se llama los at the end? Los penalties. Right, I lost my train of thought there. So the penalties, but in the end, like I said, congratulations. I know you guys work hard, and Livingston has a good program. So thank you guys, okay?
I do want to hear from Coach Hernandez.
First of all, I would like to congratulate our boys. This has taken us 2 years. A lot of the boys that are on the team this year, we failed last year, and they set their goal this year to become section champs. And with their hard work, dedication throughout these 2 years, they accomplished that. So I want to congratulate them. And then I also want to say thanks to the whole city of Livingston, because at our games, it was really beautiful to see the whole city unite and have the support for these boys, these young men that are here. So thank you, and thank you to everybody that's here.
Anybody else? Anybody else in the audience? So we do have some certificates of recognition from the city and the council, and we also have some other certificates from the office of Senator Caballero to each and every one of you, and then we also have a representative from the Assemblywoman Esmeralda Soria here, and but before we go out and give you guys those certificates, I just want to say that, on behalf of the City Council, and they'll have an opportunity to say that, some words to you guys too. I just want to congratulate you guys. I'm really proud and being able to see some of my students, and it's like, once my students, always my students, and every opportunity that I had to be out there, just, it was a very cold winter. This was very tough, but just being out there, and then even those times when we're not able to be physically there, just cheering you on, watching and looking for those videos on social media and seeing, just you guys playing out there. It's very amazing. And it's a good thing, now most of you guys, or some of you guys, are seniors. And what best way to end your senior year than with this grade of achievement? So very proud of all of you guys, and more than anything, also including your parents and your families, because a lot of what you guys accomplish as students, as team players, is because of the support of your parents at home and the support of your teachers that always encourage you. I know there's a couple of you guys out there that 3 years ago you guys were not playing soccer, and many other teachers were encouraging you guys to participate and become part of a sport team. And here you are, and now I'm looking straight at you guys, and we're all very proud of you. Thank you. Congratulations. Council, any words?
You took most of my words from me, actually. I wanted to congratulate all of you back there, but I want to give a real big special thank you to all the families, all the encouragement, all the hard work, all the time spent. It's a collective team effort, no pun intended, but it's a team effort. And just Livingston is proud of you all. Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations again. Everyone took all the words, parents, and you guys did an awesome job. Congratulations.
I just want to say congratulations as well. Being an athlete and achieving what you did in this past season, throughout your seasons with Livingston High School, making my most of our alma mater really proud of what you have done and the banner you've brought home. But on top of that, you are a student athlete. That means as much as you are tough out there on the field, you are also tough in your classrooms by keeping up those grade point averages. So congratulations.
Anyone else? We're good? All right, so I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do this, but we have certificates from we have three different certificates, so, and I don't think they're any one order, any particular order, so I think there's no way to really do this, but just go out there and do it. So I'm gonna come out here, and then I can call you guys, and then once you guys come up to get your certificate, just stay up here, because we got 2 more coming to you, and then we got to take pictures with your parents and your coach and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. If council wants to be out here too, and it's a group. Well. No. So, okay, so I can do one, and then we'll figure out the rest. I don't know how to do this. I mean, this is the first time we do this. So, are they in order? Or actually, yes. Let's have you guys come up here. Oh, just have you guys come up all the way up here, and then we'll give you guys this way. I gotta use some of my classroom skills. All right. How many of you? A lot. All right. Okay, you guys can come more. I guess you gotta come out this way. This way. This way. This way. This way. All right. Okay.
Maybe we should go through one stack, and then we can present the other certificates to the coach to give that out afterwards. You can pick anyone to go Livingston.
All right. So I think we figured it out. It took a whole council to figure it out. You did? Okay. Ms. Soto did that, I guess. So we're going to give them one set of certificates, and then we'll give them the other two sets to the coach, and then the coach can give them out to them individually, but that way we have more time for the parents and stuff like that. All right, so Luis Reese, he's the coach. Okay, is he here? No. Marco Sobrevilla? Well, he's a coach, assistant coach. Assistant coach Salvador Salazar? Assistant coach Jorge Carmona? Assistant coach head coach, head coach Francisco Hernandez. Israel Mujica. Israel. ¿No vino? Fernando Garcia. I don't want to kill this. Mahal, last name Mahal. Julian Barajas. Congratulations. Gabriel Montes. Congratulations. Diego Millán. Congratulations. Jonathan Cervantes. Jerry Fierro. Gerardo Torres. Alan Millán. Alejandro Ávila. Alberto Altamirano. Heath Edwards. Alexander Moreno. No. Alexander? No, it's not here. David Lozano. Congratulations. Luis Salazar. Good job, good job. Juan Reynoso. Anthony Maldonado. Jose Mendoza. Damián Mireles. Irene Sandoval. Congratulations. José Valencia. Congratulations. Ricardo Partida. Congratulations. Oliver Sánchez. Luis Sandoval. Kevin Velázquez. What I was most afraid that we would have missed someone. Did we get everyone? Yes? Okay. All right. So afterwards, after the pictures and all that, or if you guys, we're going to have Coach Hernandez give you the certificates from, actually, we're going to have a few words by the staff member from Assembly Member Esmeralda Soria.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. My name is Alejandro Carrillo. I'm with the Office of Assemblywoman Esmeralda Soria, and she's hard at work in Sacramento for the people of Livingston, so she couldn't be here this evening. But we did bring some recognitions, and in recognition of making the CIF Northern California Regional Semifinals, winning the Trans Valley League Championship, and winning the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Division 4 Championship, the Assemblywoman Esmeralda Soria, Livingston City Council, the city manager, and staff commend the Livingston High varsity boys soccer team on these accomplishments. Congratulations, everybody.
This is on behalf of the Office of the Senator Ana Caballero. Livingston Wolves varsity soccer team, in recognition of making the CIF Northern California Regional Semifinals, winning the Trans Valley League Championship, and winning the CIF San Joaquin Section Division 4 Championship. Congratulations on your success.
All right, so now we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to take a break, and then that way we can have parents and everybody here that want to take a picture with your students. And so we're going to take a recess, short recess, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
So third row, stand up high, second row, lower down so we can see all those faces. Alexander, bend down. Yes. There you go. Las manos. One, two, three. Cheese.
Somebody send me a picture, please. All right, thank you guys. Congratulations again, all right? Good job, guys. Very proud of you guys.
I want a picture with them. Okay, once again, third row, stand up high, chin up. At least a little more down. Ready? One, two, three. Cheese, cheese, cheese. There you go. All right. I'm getting tired. Aw, he wants a picture. Check his hands. I'll take it. I'll do a selfie though. Okay, ready for the selfie? Okay. One, two, three. Look at the faces. Put the certificate. You guys taking our pictures? You want me to go in? Ready, boys? One, two, and then three. I don't know how to take these pictures. Bye.
All right, so we are back from our short break. Next, we have announcements and reports. We have Supervisor Rodrigo Espinosa, announcements and reports.
Good evening, Council. I think I got to send a email to all the council members. Hopefully, you guys can attend or sign up for the water education for Latino leaders. And you don't have to be Latino, as long as you represent Latinos in any community in California. I was able to do it's a 6 months course through them. They pay us, and then they take you to about 6 different locations: Salton Sea, the Delta, LA River, and many locations across California. So you learn a lot about water. They're trying to educate elected officials, whether you're school board, water board, of course, and supervisors, council members. And so they educate. Plus, you make a lot of friends across the state. So if anybody wants to, I'll send you all the link if you guys want to sign up. And the conference is coming up on March 31st and the 1st, and in Southern California, Van Nuys, California. So, you can learn a lot. Whether you want to do this year or next year, you guys are welcome to. I know it's kind of late, but they're still taking signups. And sometimes they offer. When I signed up, it used to be free, and now they encourage the cities or any government agency to hopefully pay, so that way they can raise more funds. Last month I was able to give certificates, and I apologize for not having the certificates for the soccer team. I'll try to get the list from you, Mayor, and I'll make the certificates, and that way you can send it to them, please. I handed out also, the Merced County Superior Court has a drug treatment court that treats people with alcohol or drug addiction. And if you go through the treatment, usually people that have issues, they always have, they go through jail, and of course they have fines. So the drug treatment court will usually reduce most of your 80 to 90% of your fines. So that's a good place. Plus, they try to get you to, rehabilitation. So thank God, like I said, it's been raining a lot. I know it's just like the summer was a long summer. Now we're getting a lot of water, and hopefully we'll have a lot of groundwater recharge. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of flooding, and our hearts go out to all those affected with the disaster as well. Also, I'm looking forward to working with the mayor. I had a talk with the mayor regarding the general plan. Hopefully, we can move forward, and with whoever the city is representing on this side, and we'll have more talks with the county staff, and so we can get the general plan going, and revenue sharing agreement, and the Merced County Association of Governments contract. I know those talks going on, and I think we're going to have a meeting pretty soon, so we'll update on that. Also, we approved last meeting a priority list of roads that we already had it, but I put about 4 or 5 projects that will be moving forward this spring or summer. The main one will be Lincoln Boulevard from the city limits all the way to Highway 140, which is about $2.5 million project to repave that. Dwight on the north part of Campbell, that part of that's missing, because I know we get a lot of complaints of people that walk around that neighborhood. And also F Street from Hammett all the way to Dwight, and hopefully they'll finish off the other part of Dwight to Peach, and also Peach Avenue as well. And we're trying to get into, I don't know if we'll be able to get Magnolia in this year, but hopefully next year. Magnolia is pretty bad as well. I know that the farmers have been complaining on that side over there as well. And I know that those are from my district. I have other, but we can only do so many per year, right? One of the projects that I saw on Supervisor Pereira's District 4 was Walnut as well, from the city limits all the way to Santa Fe, I think. So hopefully that one gets done too as well. It's almost as long as Lincoln. And also, I think I will have one opening on the Merced Cemetery board committee. That's usually for residents, not for elected officials. But if anybody would like to ask me, I'm going to find out if somebody was going to be stepping down. I heard, and we can get somebody placed on the Merced Cemetery board in Merced, and that way they can learn and bring back information on what being on the board of the Merced, on a cemetery. I know each district supervisor has one or two cemeteries, and we nominate, and the board appoints all of us together. But I usually, nominate. And also, there most likely will be one opening on the behavioral health board. I know we have Letty here that she's psychologist, and hopefully, like I said, her or somebody else that would like to be on it. I know we have a Linda deal on there right now, and I don't know if they told me that I can't remember the other person's names. I know her last name is Carr, but she's on it. I'm trying to get a hold of her, so I don't know if she stepped down yet or no. So I think that's all my comments, unless you have any comments or questions for me.
Well, thank you for including that section of Peach in Sultana.
Peach all the way to where Sultana comes down.
Yeah, I've been getting a few requests to do something about that, and I explained to them that it's county, and I'm glad that you have it on that list.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, many residents have called me, especially, I go straight that way to get the freeway, and it's been getting worse every year, and especially with the canal that was broken there, so we've brought it up. It wasn't my district before, past Dwight, but now it's going to be my district because it's all the way to Sultana, so I'm pushing that one now. So. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions from the public? Nobody?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Appreciate it. Next, we have city staff announcements and reports. Public Works Director Anthony Chavarria.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, City Manager, members of the public. Anthony Chavarria, Public Works. Council, I do have a couple of items I'd like to update Council and the public on. The first one is our City of Livingston Spring Collection event, slated for Saturday, April 15th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Location is the Livingston Public Works parking lot at 2238 Walnut Avenue. It's the same location every year. Residents will need a proof of residency, so be sure to bring your ID with you. Residents may bring up to 9 passenger tires to the event at no cost. Businesses are not allowed to drop off any tires. There is no limit on how many mattresses or box springs that you bring. But again, businesses are not allowed to take any. The flyer is on our city website, and we will be mailing out flyers to the residents in their utility billing at the end of March. The tire portion of this event is made possible through grant funds from Cal Recycle, and the collection of mattresses is made possible through the Mattress Recycling Council. What can I drop off? We will only be accepting passenger car pickup tires, or smaller tires will be accepted, such as ATV tires. Tires with the rims will not be accepted. It's tire only. No diesel tires and no tractor tires. We did have a fallen tree on D Street. It's a little blurry, but I'm sure you can see the tree there. We did have one large tree that fell during today's storm. This happens quite often with large trees that haven't been trimmed. All the rain loosens up the area around the roots, and if you have a heavy canopy that hasn't been trimmed and high winds, ends up toppling over the tree. Staff was quick to respond and remove and clear the road rather quickly. Storm pump stations. Staff continues to inspect and perform maintenance on the storm pump stations. We have not experienced any major issues with flooding or pump failures. Staff has remained proactive as storms approach to make sure equipment is prepped and ready to be used in a case of emergency. Unfortunately, we do see this too often. Our storm pump stations end up looking like trash stations. This debris is what plugs up our pumps and can potentially cause flooding in the streets. So it's really important that we keep our drains free of trash. As you can see, that I can't tell whether that was a water hose on the left or part of a hula hoop. But somehow it's made it in our DIs, and it takes time, because if any of the pumps suck that up and it gets stuck in there, it plugs up our pump, then we have to dispatch a service truck, a crane truck. Usually happens in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we have to pull that pump, and it takes time to take it apart and clear it. And in the meantime, streets start getting backed up. So it's really important to keep our DIs clean and debris free. And that's a pretty typical picture of what we see out there as staff is cleaning our storm drains and pump stations. That's all I got to present. Any questions, council?
Council, any questions? Is this, because I think we only have this event once a year, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And is there a possibility to have it twice a year?
If there's funds available, Cal Recycle usually tells us that in the beginning,
Okay.
saying that there may be funds available. That way we could schedule a possible second event.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so next we have,
Thank you,
thank you,
Council.
Anthony. City Planner, Miguel Galvez.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, residents of Livingston. Miguel Galvez, contract planner, here to provide the council with a report on some of the recent Planning Commission actions. The Planning Commission met on March 14th and took action on 4 items. I'll briefly describe them. The Green Zone Entitlement application was continued indefinitely to allow staff and the applicant to work on some of the project details. Number 2, the Planning Commission recommended approval of a use permit and site plan design review to allow development of a 2-story single-family dwelling on an undersized lot in the R2 zoning district. The public hearing for this item is tentatively scheduled for the council's April 18th meeting. Third, the Plan Commission recommended approval of a second use permit and site plan design review to allow development of a triplex townhouse in the downtown commercial zoning district. The public hearing for this item is tentatively scheduled for the council's April 18th meeting. Lastly, the Planning Commission recommended that the 2022 Housing Element Annual Progress Report be transmitted to the council and submitted to the state of California. This item is scheduled for the council's April 4th meeting. That concludes my update. I'm happy to respond to questions.
Any questions, council? Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Just if you can refer a message to the commissioners, I've been able to be there last few times at their meetings, and I really like the way the commission is working. They're asking good questions. They're being very educated, and just encourage them to continue doing that and get it. If anybody needs additional training, just to make sure that you let us know that if they wish to have more training, then we can look for training opportunities. There's plenty of workshops online as well, so it just depends on what they need. But I think they're doing a great job.
Okay, thank you. I'll relay that message. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have city manager announcements and reports. Oh, wait, Jackie? Okay, more than 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes? Okay, just take whatever time you need. Thank you, Jackie.
Quick slides. So I wanted to give, am I doing the fireworks at this time too?
No, just your updates, color run that you wanted to do.
Okay. So I wanted to give you a colored run update. If people want to still run in the run, we do have our No Frills registration, which will be open March 29th until 4:30 p.m. That's the $15. They get everything but the t-shirt. We're still looking for volunteers. Registration and volunteer registration can be done online at the Splash of Color Run on the city website. So hoping to see you all out there. It's going to be a fabulous day. We have just about 500, well, a little over 500 registered. We have 30 sponsors. It is just going to be great. Go ahead, next. I also wanted to give you an update on the pool. So we don't have an MOU yet with the high school district. However, staff has been assured that there's not going to be a cost to use the pool this summer by the district. Lifeguard applications are being taken, and the certification course will take place during spring break. Lesson registration day, unless we don't get any lifeguards, will be May 4th, 5 to 8, right here in the city council chambers. Lessons will be $40 a session. Any questions?
No questions, but I can tell you that a lot of people are really looking forward to the pool program. So let's just hope that everything continues heading.
So if you have a kid that's a pretty strong swimmer, have them
Call you and apply.
call us and apply, because even if we get the pool for free, if we don't have staff, we wouldn't be able to open it. So we need lifeguards.
Maybe we can look at some volunteers here. Diego? Okay. So anybody out there that wants to apply for a lifeguard position, make sure you contact the recreation department. Thank you, Jackie. Next, we have city manager announcements and reports.
Nothing from me, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. City council members, Mr. Mann.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start my report with my roundtable meeting with Merced College. Met with President Vitale and Livingston trustee Mario Mendoza. We had some great conversations and got updates on what Merced College is focused on right now. And right now it's outreach. That's what their focus is on. They'll be reaching out to communities directly in unique and different ways to offer their services and update the community about those services and classes. Luckily, their student body is steadily growing after the dramatic drop from COVID. So they're coming back to baseline slowly. And two things that I learned from that meeting is they actually offer a truck driving school. From what I learned, it was at no cost. And so it's for semi-trucks. And also, if you have a Merced College ID, you can ride the bus for free. I didn't know that personally. And so they have a lot of good services, and they'll be reaching out to communities directly. One suggestion we had was to maybe come through places where people congregate, so churches, temples. They do a lot of outreach to the high school, but they're expanding that. Also wanted to let everybody know about the Livingston Sikh community. We'll be hosting their annual parade, or Nagar Kirtan, via the Peach Street Temple. So this is a joyous occasion where traditional songs and hymns will be sung, bringing the temple and his congregation to the community's doorstep. So please come out and participate. They'll be starting at Peach Street Temple at 11 o'clock, so that's Peach and Dwight, and they'll come down Peach, down Main, and then go to B, and they'll stop at the B Street Temple for about an hour. And so it's just a great place to meet some people and come hang out. There's gonna be a lot of food there, a lot of traditional food, and some not traditional food. Come hungry, there's a lot there, and it's at no cost to anybody, so please participate. And lastly, during our last break, Mayor Pro Tem Samara reached out to me and wanted me to report something out for him. He wanted to acknowledge the passing of his mentor, Dr. Nagy. He wanted to send his thoughts and prayers to the Nagy family, and on behalf of the City Council here, I'd like to send our condolences to the Nagy family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Jason?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On March 9th, I got to tour the water system with our intern city manager and Anthony. Very, very informative. Never been up close to a pump before of that magnitude. I mean, it was an eye-opener, seeing how the chemicals went in and everything. I recommend it to all council members if you guys get a chance. Very, very informative. And then on March the 14th, I went to the Planning Commission meeting, attended that, and there was some concerns from some of the citizens that live out that way, as in the not cleaning up the area. Some were worried about traffic on Bird and Olive. Some were concerned about smells, possibly from the Green Zone enterprises coming into that part of town. So very informative. And then I also attended the last recreation meeting, and Jackie, I think you got a great team up there. They're very enthusiastic, and I think it's going to be a good year for you. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Soto?
The last LAFCO meeting was canceled, so hopefully they'll continue on with next month. Don't really have anything else to report.
Thank you. I just have a few items to report. About a few days ago, I met with the Assembly member Esmeralda Soria and her staff here at the city, and she wanted to come and visit and kind of get to hear from us, the city and staff, about some of our needs and concerns. I think it was a great conversation, and I'm not sure if it was the first time or at least in a long time that we had, that we were able to meet with both the senator's office, with herself and staff, and also with the assembly member. And I know that we're working on something to continue having those meetings, especially in regards to getting that additional help that our city needs in able to continue moving forward with some of the projects, the big ticket projects that we need, that the city of Livingston needs for its residents. Also, I was able to attend the Planning Commission meeting, and And then, so also just some information, well, just thank you for that person that called in today in regards to the spay and neuter program. That is something that we've been working on, and I know it's just the timing, but it's been months. Hopefully, sometime soon, we do have a TNR program in the city of Livingston, which for a long time we always talk about it, but we never been able to do much about it. So hopefully now, eventually, we can create something to where it just seems like everywhere I drive, I see cats. I mean, it's just so, and I've been getting, yeah. So I'm hearing a lot, and I know there's some people out in the community that want to volunteer for a TNR program, and we're gonna create some meetings to be able to have like a roundtable conversations in regards to what some of those concerns around Spain about stray animals, and maybe kind of focus on some areas and figure out where we can work on first and just kind of go from there. But it's not going to be an overnight project, but it needs to be a multiple year project in order to be able to have some results. Measure V rep, it's been a couple of years, almost 3 years since the last time we had a Measure V Livingston representative. And if there are any volunteers out there, they meet, I think it's once a month in Merced, and we need a Measure V representative for the city of Livingston to be able to attend those meetings and kind of get updates on what Measure V has been doing, and what are some of the things that we can do here in the city in regards to those funds, and kind of like bring back information about how those funds are being used. And that's it.
Jose, if I may.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Just hearing you report out or making a comment in regards to Ms. Fennessy's call-in, I don't believe that what she was saying is that what you were saying is that we need to create something and do some workshops. She said that there was a program already in place, so why aren't we a part of it? So rather than create something, why don't we become a part of it and not waste any more time, is what I hear you saying, as you know, you've been consistently the advocate for dogs and cats. Mm-hmm. So not creating something, becoming a part of it.
I think, well, I can only speak for myself, and in regards to that, I do believe there is some miscommunication, and it's not that the city is not participating, so we just need to kind of pick up or figure out where that miscommunication is currently. And that's why I asked that caller to be able to meet with us or meet with me or the chief or someone to be able to figure out where that miscommunication is. And we currently do have a voucher program for animals to be fixed. All they got to do is just call PD, and they'll get a voucher, and they'll take it to the vet, and it will get fixed. But I think there needs to be, yes, I understand that there might need to be more information about it, and I think it's just a work in progress. But the current program that we have, it's only for family pets. It's not for stray animals. So, and I think that's kind of like the other part of it. Stray animals, like they're nobody's pets. So, and I think most of the calls that I've been getting in regards to animals has been related to pets that nobody owns. So, I think it's good that we have one part of the program, but we need the other part of the program otherwise to be able to, otherwise we're just patching things up. But yes. So personally, I think it's just miscommunication somewhere along the line. So the best thing to do is just to be able to come together and figure out, just have a conversation. But I agree. Thank you.
Also, thank you for inviting the soccer team out, but I also wanted to know, did you reach out to Ms. Faith Vasquez from Livingston High School? She went on, qualified for state in wrestling.
That's scheduled for next meeting.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else? All right, so moving on next to our consent agenda.
Mayor, I see a city attorney announcement and reports regarding MCAG MOU.
Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and, yeah, my mistake. We have city attorney announcements and reports. Thank you for catching that.
It's just real brief. Pursuant to the comments made by the council at the last meeting, which were conveyed to the other representatives for the MCAG entities, there are revisions being made and proposed in line with the council's comments. As soon as we have a consensus back on that, I believe that all of the entities, for the most part, are in agreement that they've got something they're ready to present to all of the different entities, legislative bodies for consideration to approve. Just as a reminder, the agreement does terminate in June unless amended.
And unless amended or unless there's a request for an extension, would that be possible, you think?
All of the entities could agree to an amendment to just the term provision, correct? Though that is not currently being discussed.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody? We're good. All right. Next, so we have consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by the city manager or city council member. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless member of the city council or city manager requests that specific items be removed. What is the desire of the council in regards to consent agenda? Is there a motion?
I motion to approve.
So we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Roth?
Yes.
Councilmember Mann?
Yes.
Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Next, we have public hearings. Okay, are there any public comments on the phone in regards to any items on the consent agenda? Any comments in the chamber? Seeing none, bringing it back to the dais. Thank you. Public hearing, item number 16. First reading and introduction of ordinance amending Livingston Municipal Code, Title 7, Chapter 4, Section 16, title Administrative Penalties in regards to illegal aerial fireworks. By ordinance, adopt a policy for the issuance of administrative fines for violations. And this item will be continued to April 4th, 2023 at a regular city council meeting. At this time, I will take public comment in regards to this item, even though this will be continued. Any comments on the phone? Any comments in the chamber? Seeing none. Okay, so this item will be continued. Next item, 17, first reading and introduction of ordinance amending Title 4, Chapter 1 of the Livingston Municipal Code, repealing ordinance number 642 and replacing Livingston Municipal Code Title 4, Chapter 1, Building Administration Codes to adopt the 2022 California Building Code 2022 Mechanical Code 2021 International Property Maintenance Code, the 2022 California Mechanical Code 2021, the 2022 California Plumbing Code, the 2022 California Electrical Code, the 2022 California Historical Building Code, the 2022 Energy Code, the 2022 California Green Building Code, the 2022 California Fire Code, and 2022 California Residential Building Code, and all appendices attached, and to set a public hearing for April 18, 2023 at 7 p.m. to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance. Miguel?
Okay, good evening once again. Miguel Galvez, Contract City Planner. The item before you is the periodic update of the city's building code to match the state of California's current building standards and international property codes, basically the state's building codes. Every other year, the state of California updates its building code standards relating to construction projects, new construction, rehabilitation, modernization, all that. The state went through the review process in 2022 and adopted the new state building codes to be effective this year. In turn, all local jurisdictions are required to enforce the state's minimum building standards. The item before you this evening is an amendment to the Livingston Municipal Code, as you mentioned, Title IV, Chapter 1, which includes administrative procedures, as well as an amendment to the latest building codes that will be enforced by the city. This is the first reading of the ordinance. A 15-day public hearing period is required before final adoption at the second reading, which is scheduled for April 18th, 2023. The action is considered exempt from CEQA as the adoption of an ordinance does not have a significant effect on the environment. There's no construction being proposed by the ordinance amendment. In closing, staff recommends 3 items. 1, find that the proposed ordinance amendment is exempt under CEQA pursuant to CEQA section 150161B3. 2, introduce and waive the first reading of the ordinance amending Title IV, Chapter 1 of the City of Livingston's Municipal Code, repealing Ordinance Number 642 and replacing the Livingston Municipal Code, Title IV, Chapter 1, Building Administration Code, to adopt the 2022 California Building Code, the 2022 California Mechanical Code, the 2021 International Property Maintenance Code, the 2022 California Plumbing Code, the 2022 California Electrical Code, the 2022 Historical Building Codes, the 2022 Energy Code, the 2022 Green Buildings Code, and the 2022 California Fire Code. Lastly, the 2022 California Residential Building Codes, and all their appendices there to also to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance. The last recommendation is to set a public hearing for April 18th and to introduce and waive the second reading, as I mentioned. That concludes my report. I'm available for questions. We're still building, and we just want to comply with the state requirements.
Council, any questions? All right, well, I guess if there are any questions, so the next hearing will be for April 18, right?
Correct, there would be a public hearing.
All right, okay, I guess we're all good. Okay, so we need to move for an acceptance of the first reading. So we need a motion.
Be a motion to approve the introduction and first reading and to set the public hearing for April 18th.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Make a motion to approve the first reading.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Mann?
Yes.
Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Mayor Moran?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. Item number 18, discussion and direction on the 4th of July event.
Okey doke. Well, at the request of council, I have brought back some information if we are going to put on the 4th of July event. And I do have in the audience a good friend, and him too, but I'm referring to you right now, Julio. So if there's any questions, he might be able to answer. Next slide, please. So a key question for the mayor and council: is the council interested in hosting a 4th of July event? And if they are, do we wish to incorporate the following: fireworks, live music and bands, and alcohol sales? Next. So just to provide a little bit of background, prior to COVID, the 4th of July celebration, known as the July Festival, was organized and presented by a group of city volunteers headed by Julio Valadez. The city generally contributed towards the fireworks display, collected monies, and sold carnival tickets. We also provided staffing for setup of the event and cleanup and security during the event. The event was held at the Max Foster Sports Complex, which was large enough to accommodate the crowds. So staff is seeking direction as to whether the council would like to move forward on the various components of this event. So staff first reached out to Julio to find out if he and his volunteers would be interested in hosting the event. Julio, as many of you may know, is also an event planner, and Julio, for lack of better terms, I'm sure the title is, but basically, he does the events for the Carlos Fiera Foundation in 5150. Julio stated that he would be happy to help out. However, he did not have time to raise funds for the event, and that he would need for us to provide the funding to make it happen. So staff has put together an overview of costs that would cover an event from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Max Foster Sports Complex, to include a few food vendors, a beer garden, stage, and sound with a DJ and a couple of local bands, along with a 10-minute fireworks show. The estimate does not include security or cleanup staff, as those figures will have to be estimated by the police department and Public Works. So as you can see, the different items that we have listed: a generator to run the power, out on the stage, the bands, stage and sound, porta potties, very necessary, the promotion of the event, the house notifications for street closures, and then dining tent with tables and chairs, and then the security is actually on the next page, and the small fireworks show of $25,000 from Pyro Spectacular, which would last about 10 minutes. Next. So the staff needed would be police, security, and traffic control, the explorers hopefully for parking, Public Works cleanup during the event, finance to collect monies at the event and make deposits. So these expenses, excluding the staff, have come up to approximately $34,488.50. The revenue at this time would be undetermined. Possible revenue could be had by the vendor fees and a percentage of the beer booth after expenses, and possibly a percentage of the parking fee. So staff is seeking direction on the following items, just as in the first slide. Is the council interested in hosting the 4th of July event? If so, does the council wish to incorporate fireworks, live music bands, and alcohol sales? And we can open this. I need feedback, so.
Thank you, Jackie. Council?
You know, we haven't had it for a while. We had the fireworks last year, I think. Yeah, it was last year, wasn't it?
We had it for the centennial.
Or centennial, I'm sorry. But I think it's important for the community, but it's, you know, it's kind of an expensive item, but I'm all for it. So, that's.
And so, just to be clear, that number, that 38,000 and change, that's just what you have up there. We're still don't know staff and costs for PD, security, and stuff like that, right?
That's correct.
Is there an amount range, an idea from both Public Works? I mean, we've done it before. Yes, of course.
So Public Works is here and police. So Public Works starts setting up, so you guys kind of get an idea. They start, if we're gonna do Max Foster, we have to get permission from the property owner that's there, and then that's where the fireworks would be set off from. And so they need to flatten an area. So they start setting up about a week before. They have to first disc the land and then make a pad for the fireworks where they're gonna be shot from. So that would be that, and then they also help. This is not gonna be as big as it has been in the past. It usually brings enough money to cover most everything, except the city still covered Public Works and police. But this time, there's no time for fundraising, and it's a little bit harder to fundraise these days. Normally, the carnival company, if you guys see from the Sweet Potato Festival, it brings in, with us, it brought in from $35,000 to $40,000, which helped pay for the event. So that's why that's not coming in. So that's why I'm asking, maybe if the city is willing to help, then that can be done. For Public Works, continuing, so they used to fence off the area. That's not going to be done. So the only pre-work they got to do is maybe provide barricades and then put out the signs, no parking in the areas that should be assigned as no parking. The money that can come in is from parking. And normally we let the police explorers, we would do a percentage or half and half. They would keep that for their benefit, and then the other would go to the event and the expenses to the event. The vendor fees, but with not having that many vendors, we've charged up to $1,500 per space per vendor in the past for this event. So that's a little bit that would come back. So it's not a lot of money that would really be able to come back. For police, with the bigger event, we did need more police presence. In the past, Sheriff Vern Warnke would offer his services, but the Livingston Police Department said that they would take care of it. So that would be the police. They normally have more police anyways on the 4th of July, moving around. But then for the event, they would have to concentrate in that area as well during the fireworks show and so on. Also, Public Works would need to help with closing the streets on that night. So we close the streets at about 8 p.m. or 8:30, right? You have a game plan on what streets needed to be closed and so on. Again, with the smaller event, it used to be, when we started with the 1 day, we made it to 3 days. So that's where the cost would come, and so it would be that night. And I think that sometimes there was not enough staffing, so they have to pay the officers overtime for that. So those are the things I can think of that would cost the city, in addition to this amount that we came up with.
So just as an example, for the Sweet Potato Festival, we probably spent close to $7,000 in overtime to have law enforcement at the Max Foster Sports Complex. And it would be my recommendation to have the road closures just like we had for the Sweet Potato Festival, just to stop the possible, tragedy of a car hitting a pedestrian on the street. So that entire Dwight Road from Campbell to Walnut would be shut down.
All right, thank you for that.
In addition to that, Chief, what is that, industrial? No, what's the one that goes that way? Campbell. Oh, that is Campbell. So you said Dwight?
To Dwight.
Dwight from Campbell to Walnut.
And then we would also, just for safety, Campbell to Dwight, industrial to Dwight, because people want to park there to watch the fireworks show. Just an FYI. So I had told the city manager and Jackie that I am willing to help out with the planning and so on. There's really, since COVID, there's really been no committee. So it's, I'm here if you need my help, and I will be available.
All right. Thank you for that. Mr. Lopez?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, the couple things that I wanted to add, obviously there's more detail related to police, public works, and the staff time allocated to that. What we would want to do is get a better idea of what that is if the council does want to move forward with this. So what we would do is bring back some more of that detail after we've had a chance to see what's the reality of being able to incorporate all of the components. And so really tonight for us is to be able to put pen to paper, identify all those different components, and then bring it back. In the future, what we might want to do is have, since we're in the middle of budget, if this is something that the council wishes to continue in the future, we would want to include the overtime hours, whether it be in public works or police, in the budget so it's accounted for when the council adopts its budget, if it's something that the council wants to do in the future. So those are some of the things that are going on right now. So that's really how we would fold that in. I know that finance probably has the ability to have police officers and public works code their time specifically to the event, so that we have a really updated accounting for the amount of staff time that goes into these events that we would want to make sure that the council had on a go-forward basis as well.
All right. Thank you for that.
If passed, could we also look into the possible revenue and how much that may be, and maybe donations from Foster Farms and other businesses here locally as a part of the package? Thank you.
Yeah, whatever the council wants us to do, obviously we'll take the lead on developing all those different details that the council may want.
Yes, well, is there a big difference in cost in regards to fireworks that are not loud? They're just fireworks just up in the sky, but is there any idea?
Well, since you asked, I had talked last year to a drone company that does a show that instead of fireworks is drones, and they can put the city logo, they can put whatever we want on those drones. And at that time it was about 30,000 for a drone show. And they bring about 100 drones or more, I forget the exact amount, and they do that. But I don't know of quiet fireworks though. I might be mistaken, but I don't know about that. And I know it does cause grief to pets and even people as well.
I know that.
Julio?
Yes, go ahead.
Just had a quick question for you while you're up here. On that drone, the company that you reached out to, how long was their show? How long are they airborne?
I had asked them to do like a 20-minute show.
20 minutes?
I have the emails. I can look at them again. But yeah, I don't quote me on the time, but I'd have to look at the emails again.
That could be a possible revenue source as well for branding and putting up logos as well.
It's hard right now to get sponsors, but if you guys, council and whoever, contacts here can reach out to like Foster Farms or whoever. Foster Farms has not donated, and I don't mean anything against them. I'm just saying they haven't donated since they only donated 1 year, and that was in 2010, and then after that, no more donations. Same with Gallo. Joseph Gallo Farms, 1 year, and then we just raised it from other donations and from the event itself.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I know that there are some cities, it's not many, but there are some cities that have fireworks, but they don't make any sound. They do make all those everything else except noise. So, that could be an option, but then again, it's probably, I don't know if it's even more expensive or if it's, or if there are many companies that do that. So, but anyways, I'm definitely, I like the idea of bringing 4th of July back. And I guess the big thing is really numbers. But I guess if we can bring this back again with more additional cost, I think it would help the council make a decision one way or the other.
The other thing that I'll add too is that at some point prior to the adoption of the budget, there was some funding that was included in the budget. So there is some funding available for this event. I believe based on the initial estimates, the funding is there to do that. I believe that Jackie did have some savings in other areas, so we will use some of that savings to potentially move forward on this. The other key components that we are looking for council direction on include the other components, obviously alcohol sales, and then live music and bands. We don't want to do something that the council doesn't want us to do, so that's the other component that we want to make sure that we're being as comprehensive as possible, Mayor.
Julio,
May I?
as you're approaching,
May? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Have you already reached out to Pyro? Because we're already in April.
Yes, they're waiting for us. So she just needed a date, and I'm assuming we're going to do it on the 4th of July, which is Saturday or Sunday? No, really?
It is.
Am I mistaken then?
We're going to be able to save on some public works overtime.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of last year. The alcohol sales, by the way, when I talked to the city manager and Jackie, is we wanted the Livingston Police Foundation to man it and handle it and make the money from it. But I mean, there could be a percentage if they do that. So that's where that would be going to. But just so we understand, when we took it over, it was Margarita Aguilar, an ex-council member as well, that started it, and then she got a bunch of us citizens, and I ended up being the lead president, whatever you want to call it, for forever. And so the money in the past came from the carnival company, from vendors, from having concerts, and we ended up doing the Sweet Potato Festival and 4th of July Festival together one year, and that's when we brought in with the ex-city manager some Spanish entertainment. I was opposed to that in the beginning because I was like, hey, this is the 4th of July Festival, why are we bringing... But the Spanish music and the concerts is what brought the most money. That day brought the most money, and that's why we kept that. But I always said that on the day of the fireworks, it can be English, Spanish, but and I always had said while I was doing it that day would be free. On the other days we may have charged, but the actual day of the fireworks we always kept it free. So that's all I have for now. But if you have more questions, let me know.
Thank you. Ms. Soto, anything else you want to add?
I was just going to ask, Christopher had mentioned that there was budgeted within the budget, but in our adopted, she was pulling from somewhere else. How much funds? Because when I read through this, it's kind of disappointing that money wasn't already set aside, because we already know as a city that this is what our residents always want. They want the 4th of July show, therefore we want to be able to provide that. So I'm just asking where...
It's actually this, in talking with finance, it's really unique in that part of it is incorporated within this fiscal year's budget, and then the other portion of it is actually expended in next fiscal year's budget, because there is a deposit that's required prior to the 4th of July. The new fiscal year starts July 1, so the deposit and those expenses will be incurred in this fiscal year, but the balance of the remainder of the expenses will be in the next fiscal year. So we would just need to account for that budgeted dollar amount in the upcoming fiscal year budget, if that makes sense. I believe it might be in the city council budget. Yeah.
Was that trying to go back to what we had talked about prior council for the centennial, whether we wanted to even split with that money that came in, the $10,000? I think it was 10,000, 5,000 centennial, 5,000 going towards 4th of July. Was that?
Well, it's not marked specifically for 4th of July. It's a surplus. What's that the right word? It's leftover money that we did not spend on the centennial event. Because we had 40,000 with the extra 10. With the extra 10,000, so there was like a total of $50,000 that the council appointed to go towards the centennial, and we did not spend all of it.
Mayor, council, may I? I
Yes,
have
go
a comment and a question. So we should have about $2,500 in the Livingston 4th of July Committee's account with the city. And then a question is, when the past mayor was here, I believe that in Maria, maybe this is what you were talking about, they had set aside money for the fireworks show, and they said that they would save it for the next time. Am I correct, incorrect? Do you guys know about that?
I do believe that's what Mr. Lopez was referring to, that was left from last year.
Okay.
The funding is there, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so, well, let me just check and see if there's any comment on the phone in regards to this item. Comment, questions? All right, hearing none, then I'm going to come back to the chamber. Any other additional comments or questions? Okay, then I can bring it back to the dais. Anything else you guys want to add?
Mr. Mayor, I do like your idea about the silent fireworks. That's kind of interesting. And, or the drones. I mean, whatever way everyone decides.
Okay, anything else?
Is staff clear on the direction?
Actually, no. The preference is to get everything that's been included in previous years as alcohol sales, bans. What I am hearing is what we can do is bring a couple options related to the drones or the fireworks. But we don't want to do something that the council doesn't want. So if the council doesn't want us to have alcohol sales at the event, we won't. That's really the policy level decision of the council. So if the council's okay with it, then let us know. If not, please let us know.
I can give my opinion. My opinion is to move forward and explore all the possibilities and in its entirety. So with everything, with band included, and because estimates are one thing, and once you actually go out there and ask, it may change, and see if we remain in our budget or not, then we can see if more money is needed and bring it back to the dais and to the council.
What I like, my opinion is, I do want to see something coming back to us with fireworks, live music bands, and alcohol sales. And this way, whether I do want to contemplate the idea of, like we've done in the past, having a gated area for alcohol, but I also like to consider and bring back information in regards to having it not gated to a particular small area with alcohol. So, and I just like to have that option available for consideration to the council. Anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, I'm on the same page. I mean, live music draws people in. Unfortunately, alcohol does too, so I'd like to see that price-wise also.
Yes.
I can tell you, with the cordoned off area at the Sweet Potato Festival serving alcohol, we had 0 incidents. It was controlled, and there were no issues. So if that helps with the consideration of the council, there you go.
Council, any ideas? Sure, go ahead.
So in order to get the alcohol permit, it does require that it's a gated area, whether it's the whole park that's gated or a small area. So to get the alcohol license, it will require it to be enclosed. What the size Depends on what you guys want.
Good, thank you. That's good information to know. Any other comments on the phone? Anybody out there? All right, any additional comments in the chamber? Well, coming back to the dais.
So, Mayor, what I did hear from at least 3 council members was having a comprehensive list of, we'll say, an itinerary of schedule of events for the 4th of July. What we can do is bring back the potential cost if there is kind of a free amount of flow of the alcohol, and as was mentioned, we'll have a cost for the fencing and all of that. So what we will do is we'll package up all the items as presented here, as what's been done in previous years, bring forward the proposed entire concept, and then move forward on that in a subsequent meeting. We'll have to move as quickly as possible because nailing down a 4th of July fireworks vendor, I mean, they're going to be gobbled up here pretty soon.
So our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from now. I mean, would that be ideal?
I'm going to refer back to
Okay,
Jackie.
so I just want to make sure that you guys know that we have the color run, baseball is off the ground, we still have uniforms. There's 2 of us that work in this department. And I don't mean to sound snippy, but I'm like freaking out at this moment thinking of what may be required of me to have done in the next 2 weeks. So, you know, am I going to get some assistance to try to, I mean, just making phone calls and trying to get pricing is not as simple as.
So it sounds like we may have a contact related to the drone concept. We can certainly, if you could assist us with getting that information. And then in terms of the other costs associated with that, that's really just going to be dependent upon Chief and Public Works doing that legwork. So I don't see too much additional pressure on Jackie. I do see the other departments really being involved in providing that additional detail, Mayor.
Or actually, and the reason I was asking is because I think one of the items that needs more attention the faster is to be able to book the, well, if we decide, you know, but right now there's 2 ideas. One is the drones, or how does that work? I mean, is there a way to say, can you save us this date and you need a deposit? If we cancel, can we get it back? Or if we decide to go with drones or with fireworks or?
So for the fireworks show, we do have to do 50% down as soon as we do a contract. And we do want to lock it in, as Jackie said, because we couldn't get it last year. For the drone show, I just looked at the emails that I've had with them, and the last email was $35,000 for the drone show, and the show is about 10 to 12 minutes because of the battery life on the drones.
Mayor, may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
The soonest that the council can approve any kind of contract is at the next meeting, and so what I would suggest is getting proposed contracts from both entities that the council can consider at the next meeting and make a decision.
I really think that what we have here, I think I had, when I talked to Jackie and the city manager, I think I had said, if we keep it this small, that's very close, maybe 40,000. That's again without Public Works or police. That's the cost of doing everything. Fencing, what we normally do is we use the police barricades to do the fencing around the beer booth if they're still available. And the police department had enough to even put around the stage area to keep people off the stage. So I think we have enough. I don't think there'll be a cost for that if we keep it small. But if we need to put fencing around the whole park, we've paid up to $13,000 for fencing, but that included porta potties as well, just to make you aware. So fencing and porta potties was about $13,000.
Another thing too, the drones and the additional fencing area, it might be something that we might want to consider for 2024. Stick to what we have now, get that moving, because I know that Jackie does have a lot of things in the hopper. It might be something that we can really further explore in 2024, but we really want to nail this down because we are up in a bit of a time crunch.
So as council suggested, would it be possible to have those contracts to us for our next meeting, and then council can decide on which one they want to do? And then after that, later, we can work on everything else. But I think that the either show, I think it's probably one of the most time-sensitive items for this event. Would that be possible?
And you're talking about contract for fireworks show or the drone show, right?
Yes.
That's what you want?
Yes.
We can ask for them, yes.
Yeah.
We Jennifer's been waiting on me to give her a thumbs up or not. And the drone show, I haven't contacted them, but I just saw their email, so I'll email them.
So, but also, I think you mentioned that the drones, based on last year's conversation, was 35,000 for 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. And the fireworks was roughly about 25 for about 10 to 12 minutes, right? Correct. So around the same amount of time for 25 versus 35.
Correct. The only thing we can ask, the additional thing we can ask the fireworks company, if they have quieter fireworks. In my opinion, I would do the fireworks show instead of the drone show. When I was looking into doing that, I was going to do both. I wanted to do a fireworks show and a drone show. And the drone show, we would get sponsors and we would have their logos on it. So that was the reason. But it is available, and I can ask them if that's what the council and the mayor want. We'll bring contracts from both, and you guys can decide what you want to do.
So what I'm hearing is that, what I'm thinking is that based on cost, for about the same amount of time, the fireworks seems more logical, even though I really don't like the big boom. But it's whatever you guys want, or should we just bring both offers, both contracts next time and just go from there? What do you guys think?
Mayor, if I can,
Go ahead.
I think maybe this year we should go small because we do have a short period of time to get it all ready. Jackie does have a lot on her plate, and then we start building for the following year, and then we can go big the next year, and
we
possibly
maybe
include the drones and fireworks.
We may be able to find a carnival company that we can, if we start looking now, that would come for next year too, which would help subsidize a lot of the costs that we have.
And just so you guys understand, the carnival company, they made that money in 3 days, not one. So and most companies will not come for 1 day. And I'm not saying we got to do 3 days. I'm just saying that's the way they operate. And I'm working on another carnival company for another event I'm doing, which you guys are invited to, the Portuguese Festival in Turlock on April 22nd and 23rd, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But anyways, it's hard for them to come for 1 day only. So keep that in mind. I know Jackie knows that, but keep that in mind.
Julio, boy. So when planning this out, what was your target of your expectation of people that would be attending? Is your outreach just Livingston focused? Because I know that in the past that it has been a 3-day event, but that included the carnival, but scaling it down to what we're talking about, what were you looking at?
So in the past, when we did 1 day, it was mostly residents, and it was about 5,000 people. And so when the biggest crowd that we've had in 3 days, maybe 30,000, but that was in the 3 days. And the Spanish Day being the busiest normally, and of course the day of the fireworks show, which with people, not coming into the park, but parking all around the park, we couldn't count those people. So I don't know if you want to count those, but the ones that come into the park, I'm thinking maybe about 5,000. I think when people hear it's not going to be big, they're going to probably stick around their houses and do barbecues and watch it from there. So one of the reasons, and I think you were involved when we did this, that we brought the fireworks lower was to bring people to the event so that they can spend money there and we can pay for some of the costs. So that's why we brought the fireworks show lower. And I think Jackie
That
did
was
the
at
same
Memorial
thing.
still.
Yeah. So that's another thing.
The reason I'm asking is because if we're scaling it down and it's not bringing that big of a draw as a 3-day event, and we're not going to have residents come out to see the music and be out there and promoting the beer sales, would it just be more advantageous just to have the fireworks?
I think people are ready to come back out, I think. And obviously the bands I'm thinking of is the traditional band, the Rhythm Blenders, if they're available. You know, I haven't talked to Mr. Gentry yet. And the other one would be our other local band, which would be Spanish, Los Quinos. And they did it free for a long time, but, you know, they can't anymore, both of them. And, you know, the Rhythm Blenders is a local band. Los Quinos lives here, but they're an international band. So if you look them up on, you know, YouTube Music or any other music source, they'll come up where the Rhythm Blenders will not, but they're charging the same amount.
All right, so I guess staff, is that enough information, direction, an idea?
So I did hear, I'm sorry for trying to, beat this down, but I did hear Councilmember Roth did make a recommendation about, just going for the fireworks. I also kind of picked up on something that Councilmember Soto said regarding a similar thing, regarding just going for the fireworks. That would be probably a good recommendation, given we don't really know the appetite of how many people are really going to come out for the first one, because it has been a few years. So it might make sense to save that $10,000, see what the participation is this year, and then, as Mayor, you mentioned, bring back, explore maybe a drone light show for next year to see how the crowd is this year. That makes sense, I think, to the staff here to be able to move forward and drill something down. That would be our recommendation, but that's really dependent on what the council is okay with.
Anything else? All right, so if we can have that contract by next meeting, and then the council can decide what to do with it.
Just so everyone knows, we're going to bring back 2 contracts, drones, and fireworks, just so that we're all clear.
Let's do that. Let's have some fun.
So the thought on that is just so that we are focusing on that so we can lock someone in, correct?
Yeah, and as Christina mentioned, the soonest that we would be able to lock someone in would be the next council meeting. We're just going to bring back the 2 contracts, drone or fireworks, so that the council can make the decision at the next meeting.
And at that time, we'd have a better picture of the budget. I mean, not the budget, but at least what we're looking at, what is in there and whatever reserves that were set aside to put towards that, because they're going to require that deposit.
Well, so if it's, $35,000, they'll need $17,500. We have that in the budget now. If it's 25, they'll need 12.5. We have that in the budget as well. What we would just do in the upcoming budget is just include the second half of the payment there. So we have the money for the 35 or the 25 half payment at this point, so that's not an issue.
All right. We're good? Okay. So get ready for next meeting. All right, moving forward. So we have, even though item Item 19 was requested to be moved or tabled to our next meeting. We need to take public comment on that. Is there any public comment on the phone in regards to item number 19? Hearing none. Any public comment in the chamber? Seeing none. Coming back to the dais, we already made a motion on this, so we don't need to do nothing else.
I just wanted to make a comment on that. I know that on the December 6th meeting, we, at least I did, try to, I don't want to say stop, but wanted to continue until we had the 5th member on the council. And with the 4 members that were present, you wanted to move forward. So I don't understand why we're wanting to even address this now. Is there any difference in the positions that are there? Because we could have not went forward until we had Mr. Mann on council. I just don't understand why it's coming back when we could have not done the process back in December.
Well, that I do. Every council has their decision at that time, so somebody made a motion, there has to be a second, and or none at all, and then it was a decision of this council or the council at the next meeting, just like it was at that last meeting in December.
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't understand.
So somebody made a motion, somebody made a second, we voted, and that's what we needed to do. But anybody in the council can not agree and vote no on it.
So we're bringing this item back, correct, to see if anybody wants to give it the positions. The 4 members that were here voted on those, but during that time, a member from the public came forward and suggested, why is council moving forward with this and not waiting for the 5th council member? And so I motioned to stop the process, and I think it was a tie. It's in the minutes, but now it's coming back to us and we're gonna have to redo it all over again?
Well, that is part of the process. That is part of having a council and make decisions. And last time, I'm not sure if it was 2 and 2.
My point is, it could have been prevented, because now we're going to redo it, and now we're going to push it off to the next meeting because a council member is absent. That's all.
Do you need a legal reason why that was decided, or is that just a comment? Oh.
I'm saying it's on the agenda again. December 6th, there was a motion to not proceed with appointing members of the council to commissions and boards. And at that time, I don't remember, but if I look at the minutes, I believe it was a tie, but we went on and proceeded to appoint people to positions on boards and commissions, and it was done. Now it's back, and we want to reappoint people.
Mayor, interject.
We're going to go through the process again. I'm just saying we wasted time last time.
If I may.
Sure, go ahead.
For the vote today, I believe Ms. Soto had to also say yes to pushing off to the next meeting. And from my memory, I believe the council at that time had moved forward just to make sure there was somebody in that seat to prevent something like this happening and not have somebody appointed to that committee, from my memory. And so I think I'm waiting to be assigned and help out, but I think it's beneficial to have all 5 here at that time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving forward, anything else? All right, okay, so council direction on future agenda items. Any suggestions from anyone? No? All right, so hearing none, we're going to adjourn this meeting at 9:26.
Hey, have a good night.